Hey out there, this is Shanna Lemke, and today I'm really excited to be sitting here with Yuasa-Green. I met I don't know, maybe about 5 months ago after listening to her on somebody else's, an interview with somebody else, and I was just really intrigued and had an opportunity to meet with her personally one-on-one. And what she does is just so impactful that I really wanted to share that with you. I is a holistic wellness coach, and that encompasses lots of cool things that she does. What I really want to talk about today specifically are Theta healing, which is what I got to experience with as well as sound healing, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's one of your newer additions, or maybe it's your tuning forks that are new, I'm not sure, but I'm really intrigued, and these things can help so many people on such a deep level, and I think a lot of people don't know about this yet. So I thank you so much for taking the time to sit here and chat with me. I want to let you introduce yourself and kind of expand on what I just said as far as what you do and how you help people.
Thank you so much, Shanna, for inviting me to this having this conversation today. It's just a great honor to be able to, even that our path crossed, that we were able to meet. And I'm just so honored that to be able to share these new modalities that people may or may not know. So, and that can be an impactful entrance way to kickstart people's wellness. So I'm really happy to have this opportunity to share what I learned, over the years. Yeah.
Yes, please. I mean, people know about nutrition and exercise and all the things that are, so mainstream, I guess. But what you do is just so much beyond that, so much deeper.
I think you just kind of summarized why I'm in the field that I do too, because I did start out as a sort of a nutritional therapy practitioner. And my passion has always been wellness. And that I always wanted to lift people's wellness just a little bit so that people can kind of get started and moving and eating well and all that. So my beginning 20 plus years ago was being trained in nutrition. And I was practicing nutrition, coaching people with nutrition, but then I got stuck, because I felt like no matter how much I was trying, people sometimes go back to the same loop again when they lose the momentum. And then I just started to figure out why. I constantly wanted to figure out why behind what we do. And I knew that the food was important, and the food is an important part of becoming who we are. But before that, there's a reason why we treat our body the way we do. And until I got the tools to resolve that, I realized that I was just going the upstream battle, that I wasn't fighting the flow of how their wellness was going, like how they could just flow with their wellness. Instead of, I was just trying to give them the tools and the information, and then I was still sending them uphill battle, upstream swim, but just to really knowing the reasons and then really figuring out the big picture of what's going on with that person, just to getting to know that person's really depth of all that they are. Then I was able to facilitate people's wellness such with ease and grace that that what you experienced, the theta healing, has helped me in that sense to really look into what is going on with our mind, and then our subconscious mind, and even to our unconscious mind. And yeah, in that way, that the theta healing has been really impactful in my practice, and then the impact that I can create with my clients.
Definitely. Well, now I know why I'm so drawn to you, that because I'm such a why person. Why is this happening? Why? And then I keep just going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into my own journey. And so no wonder we're just in sync. So you went to, you got trained in nutrition. you wanted to know why people were still not doing the thing or getting caught up in the loops. Like, what came after your nutrition training? Where did you end up next with that journey?
So after working with nutrition, actually, I beat myself up too bad. I thought I took it upon myself to see like what the reason that why my clients didn't retain that healing that they initially was able to create. Um, you know, after trying and trying and trying and looking for nutritional reason of why, I just figured out either I was not capable or I wasn't trying enough. I didn't know enough. And because I really wanted the wellness for people like desperately, I wanted to create permanent solutions, but I just really got tired that I wasn't creating the results that I knew it was possible.
Mm-hmm.
So that really started the journey of why, like you and I have in common. And then realizing that I needed to go deeper. So for a while, I kind of put my nutrition and wellness coaching business aside while I was raising little children. But I met these practitioners. It so happens that the Theta Healing, the world headquarters is in my town. They actually have moved from Idaho to Montana. And I gradually, my surroundings, something really guided me to meet all these wonderful practitioners in this town. And I was just curious, so I just started to get a session and I started to feel in that impact of what I was creating for me. So I was like, okay, I need to learn this. And then started on that journey. And as soon as I started learning the Theta Healing, just everything just lined up and really accelerated my learning and practice. And also my ability to be more impactful for people's wellness journey. So I really cleared a lot of the limiting beliefs that stopped me from practicing in wellness field from the previous failure. That was a learning experience, but I took it as a failure. But then I was able to overcome that with Theta Healing. And then being the mentality of what can I do now? What skill set do I have? How do I contribute? So I reassessed that situation. So now I practice Theta Healing. I also train Theta Healing practitioners. I'm an instructor as well. And also that in combination with Theta Healing, like shifting our mind is really important. The way we think and then how we feel about ourselves is really important too. But I also realized that sometimes people really are not willing to go there when they're not ready, like when they're not willing or open. So in that case, I just figured the sound and then the vibration without talking. It's just letting that vibration work is such a gentle way of shifting people's vibration so that people can open up to explore a deeper side of themselves. So that I sometimes do like sound healing first. And then when people are more open to healing, then we can do a deeper Theta Healing session. And then I can just plant a little bit of seed on the nutrition and they're ready to go with the better nutrition and the more like life unlimited. They can just really move forward with the flow, going their way into the direction that they want to go in terms of the wellness goal.
Okay, I'm completely like intrigued. I want to know so much more. So what question is first? So Theta Healing, what is Theta Healing for those that are watching and don't know what in the world you're even talking about? What is Theta? What is Theta Healing?
Yes. So the theta itself, theta brain waves is pretty commonly known. It's not specific to a particular modality. It's a state of brain where the brain is really in a deep meditative state, which is scientifically known to be able to access your conscious mind. At the same time, you can have access to the subconscious mind as well. And so the theta healing actually help people be in a deep theta brainwave state. And then by really actively facilitating that meditation, while you have your conscious mind, that you are able to process things and organize things in your mind, so that we really tap into not just what we normally think here in our conscious mind, but tap into what is running behind that program, our thinking patterns, our limiting beliefs, or maybe our fears or our angers or whatever that we don't know we even have. Having access to that while you actually have a conscious mind to drive you, you are making conscious decision. So it kind of, to me, it's an active meditation method that integrates all that you are, your conscious mind, your energetic self, your physical self, and then your subconscious mind. If you can create that alignment, you have an understanding of why of we have the thoughts or we have the feeling or why we behave the way we do. When we can consciously dig for the reasons why we do what we do, and then giving us a opportunity to give us the opportunity to choose what path, what journey that we are trying to, what purpose we have, and then just going with all that we are, instead of putting on a brake here and then gas here and then just going at the same time. I'm kind of scared. I don't really want to have this, but I really want this.
Right.
It's just kind of like, a lot of people do that, oh, I'd like to have abundance, but then what was the last time that I had abundance? Maybe people took advantage of me or something, so that I consciously, oh, I can create abundance in my life, but then, oh, people are going to take things from me if I create an abundance. And then that's like you're kind of going forward and backward and all that. So when you actually streamline, while you have the access to all that you are, and then the connection with the divine, connection with the universe, or however you want to call it, and then just integrating all that to create the reality that you like to create. So I know it's kind of like when I start talking about this, I'm
No,
like,
it's so much, and there's so many things I want to ask, and then I don't want to get ahead of anything and cause our listeners confusion, because there's so much. I mean, it's so different than how we normally think, right? So you talked about, I want abundance, but the last time I had abundance, somebody took advantage of me. So therefore, it's not safe for me to have abundance, right? So we put on the brakes. So that when you and I met, something came up, an old memory, and we talked about how that would affect how I operate my life. And so at the end, it was kind of like, I can't even remember how to describe the session that we had, but at the end, I remember you asking me, does that make sense to you now as an adult, as you listening to this memory and what happened? Does that make sense to you now? And it's like, no. So why would I keep operating that way? It's just, I want you to talk a little bit more about subconscious, how that happens, and how it's always like, because I know that there are possibly some people watching that are thinking this is getting a little woo-woo, like a little new agey. And I mean, our beliefs are there, whether we label them or realize that they're there. We've got subconscious beliefs all the time operating on autopilot, right? I mean, whether, like I said, whether we label it or not, it's happening. And we can do things we don't want to do because of them, or we can actually acknowledge them and do things differently. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
So will you kind of talk about the subconscious versus the conscious, and how did that happen? Like, how do we get these subconscious belief patterns that are just operating in the background? We don't even realize they're there, protecting us from whatever, protecting us from abundance because we got taken advantage of in the past. How does that happen?
Well, It's a really good question, because all that like limiting beliefs actually is created for us, right? Because it served us at one point.
Right.
It
Okay.
protected us, and then that is actually a survival skill. Like we needed to know, like, oh, when you see a tiger, last time I saw tiger, I had to run away, otherwise I saw somebody else killed. That's a really important information for us to survive. And then that is a thought that you like, your action is aligned with that as well. However, just looking at the tiger's picture and then like fearing like, oh, I gotta run for my life, that belief is not serving us anymore. But then we still have that underlining thing like, oh, this is a tiger, and then that I like it, that I am supposed to run away from this. It doesn't really matter that it's like serving you or not, but it's if it's there, because our ancestors or ourselves creates thoughts to really for the best for us, our survival, or what worked to protect us in the past, and then what worked for us, like some ways that benefited us in the past. And then, okay, this worked, so let's create this pattern. Okay, this happens, and when this happens, then this happens. We have that equation already made in our mind, so that we don't have to go through that experience again, but then we retain it so that we don't have to think about it, and then we just act. And then that is something that we don't really even think about it, process about it in our conscious mind. So like fear is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, the fear has always protected us, like say, coming back to the tiger talk. And then if we are actually in front of a tiger, I don't know how to best to protect yourself from tiger, but then your fear is valid. And then that saves your life. Somehow by being creative or thinking quickly, or you shut down your body systems and then really get all your energy out into your organs, that brains, and then your response and muscles, and so that you can, fight or flight. So that programming, though, it becomes engraved in our brain, that it becomes a pattern. Okay, when this happens, then this happens. And then that is the equation, whether it's working for you or not. Now we go through thousands of data processing that our brain does every moment in our life, but only 20 of them, I think, I might be off on that scientific study there, comes up in our conscious mind that we consciously are aware. Like we make a decision which particular aspect of what data that we are processing is worth bringing into the forefront in the conscious mind, so that we use that information to process and then take our actions based from it. So we're choosing, even though we are gathering and catching all these data, informations and feelings and all that, but then we only bring so much into it so that we can effectively make the decisions and the actions. So we can whether ignore it, what's running background, or we can decide which one we intentionally want to bring forward yourself. But when you don't know what is in here, then how do you choose?
Right.
You don't know the previous path that was working or not working. But if we don't know what we have, we don't know what our choices are. And so it's almost like I call what we do in the Theta healing kind of like a homeopathic, like energetic homeopathic, or the thought homeopathic. We're just going on the path like it's like animals just walking on the same path over and over again, and it creates a trail, the animal trail. But like, everyone keep on going that way. So it's just that path is always repeated. But at one point, one animal just to decide to choose another path and then start going that way, and then somebody else follows that path, then somehow that becomes a new trail, and then that gets more used more. So it's like making that decision, okay, this is the old pattern, it's not good or bad, but is that resonance with you, current you right now, is that really working for you, or would you like to choose a different pattern intentionally?
So essentially creating new neural pathways is what you're helping somebody to do, create a new neural pathway, a new way of thinking. Is that right? So
Yeah.
would this be a fair comparison? So we've got conscious mind, unconscious mind, subconscious mind. So the conscious mind is, the phone rings, I decide to answer it. That's my conscious mind. Hello. Or somebody says, do you want to go to the store today? I say, yes, I'd like to go to the store today. Conscious mind, right? Unconscious mind would be more things that we're just so in habit of doing. I brush my teeth every morning without even thinking, oh, hey, I wonder if I should brush my teeth today. Or driving somewhere that I drive all the time. I get in and I just know how to drive my car. I don't have to learn every time I get in there. I already know how to do it. I don't have to even really think about it. And then that subconscious mind is what's running in the background all the time, those pathways, those trails that we've got this rut in, or whatever, however we want to describe that, where we just keep doing the same thing. So the person who feels like stuck, or I want abundance, I don't realize this is playing in the background, that somebody hurt me once, or took advantage of me when I had abundance. So therefore I'm not going to have abundance. I don't realize that's happening, or that's playing back there. So is that fair to describe the different states, I guess, states of mind? Conscious, unconscious, subconscious.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think somebody else probably can better refine the difference between the subconscious and the unconscious, because almost, if to me it just seems like intertwined. And but it's both of them. It's just without our awareness, that's something that it's automatically ingrained that what we do. And so I'd love to know if somebody who watches this video has I have a perfect definition of unconscious mind and subconscious mind. I'd like to explore that too. But yeah, basically we are aware of the decision we are making here, but then a lot of the things that we have, our brain is such a amazing computer. It processes so much, and all that information that we retained back there, it runs us, it's just radiating all these signals all the time. And what we decide or what we feel is just automatic, and it's creating all these, chemicals within our body, or, it's just a vibration or whatever you want to call it. But it's creating, impacting our reality, what we do in our life. And then that's just such a big part of it. But we often tend to stay in our conscious mind, which is, just the only tiny portion of it that we actually use.
Actually, now the way that you said that, subconscious, unconscious, basically the same thing, because I don't like I said, if I already know how to drive my car, I don't need to relearn it every time. And it's kind of like, well, I already know how to not be successful or be successful or whatever it is based on what's running in the background. I'm just trying to create an example and I'm trying to process this myself because I get it, but it's hard to describe it. I know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to figure out the whys and the hows about it, but I guess I don't need to. I can just trust that you know how. And
also the easier example might be the conscious mind is like an app on your phone.
Okay.
Or on your computer, and then the subconscious mind or unconscious mind would be like operating system, like OS system. So it's the computer programming. It's all that operation system is in the background, but then you're executing it with the app right there.
That makes sense. So whatever's limiting or allowing in the background in the operational system is what's going to. Okay. All right.
And
so
what comes though super powerful in this analogy is your decision, and then your choice, your freedom of choice. Like that is like an enter button in this scenario. just to kind of like sending that command, like hitting an enter when you make a conscious decisions.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So you brought up so I can say, because I have experienced this with you, that a memory may surface that you may not even be prepared for. For me, it was not a big deal. It was not, it was just like, huh, it was weird. It was just an image in my mind, like a photograph. And it was just kind of like, huh, where'd that come from? But I would imagine that some things could come up that you're just not prepared for. And it may be, I'm going into this because you talked about sound therapy and some people just not being ready to go that deep. So maybe we can kind of get into how sound therapy works. I've been looking into vibration and frequency, and I watched a cool, I think I was watching a documentary, and they were talking about how different vibrations, different sounds for different people. So it's not even, it could be just very individualized, but I would imagine that on a group level too, there's so much benefit. So I'll let you describe what that is.
For the sound healing, the vibration?
Yeah.
So everything is a vibration, really. Like we are sending our electric signal, and electricity is a vibration, color is a vibration. And it's just all the atoms and molecules like vibrating at different speed. Your cells are vibrating, and everything is just really like sound, colors, light, it's all vibration. And even the cell phone data that the fact that we can actually catch some vibration on our little device, it's catching this vibrational signal, and then it's translating it into the form that we can understand, right? And so energy to energy, the vibration to vibration is such a direct way, and it's like almost ancient way of the communication as well. And I love it that the fact that you don't have to understand it, you feel it.
Yeah.
It's talking directly to something else's vibration, to your vibration. So like a long time ago too, that Dr. Reif like discovered that different disease had different vibrations, different cells, the different organs have different vibrations, and all those like scientific studies are coming out. And then we don't have to really tap into or micromanage that vibration, but the important part is how that impacted you and how is that resonating with you. And sometimes when people have like a really painful memory, you don't really want to go visit or anything, but then you can just, but you could be holding on to that like really tightly, but gently, without our judgment, without our even thinking process, without filtering through our ego. I'm not coaching anybody. I'm not trying to convince anybody, but simply applying the corrective or the healing or vibration of specific archetypes, different frequency, and apply that, and then see how that would shift. How would that impact, create that impact in that person's body or emotions, feelings, the energetic field. It's really led by the client. How people don't receive anything that they are not wanting to, like you have to allow that vibration to impact you. So it's really like I can't really force that vibration to do anything for the person that I'm working with, but it's really that person is in charge of doing how they want to utilize that vibration that they're receiving. And they don't have to think about it. They don't have to put it through the ego. They can just, receive it and then see and then watch it and witness it, and then what kind of impact you have, and then just acknowledge it. And then sometimes that can shift just an edge off that emotion or the tone, and then they feel a little more open, and then they would feel safe to really tap into the deeper side of their subconscious mind or unconscious mind that would lead to deeper healing, because we can tap into deeper why. So it's just opening that gateway
Yeah.
In that sense. Yeah.
And emotions are so powerful. I mean, if we aren't dealing with these things that are stuck, these memories, these emotions, not only can they hold us back in life, but they can actually cause disease, right? I mean,
Mhm.
emotions lodge themselves into our organs until we're ready to deal with them,
Mhm.
and can literally affect our health, not just in, I'm sad and I don't want to deal with this emotion. It goes so much deeper than that. It can go
Mhm.
into, heart disease or liver issues or joint issues or you name it, low
Mhm.
back issues, because we are either unaware of the stuck emotion, or not ready to deal with it, or don't know how to deal with it, don't know how to actually release it. So I've just seen some pictures of you on Facebook with your sound healing, and I
Mhm.
saw your picture that you had just gotten your tuning forks, and it looks like you use those beautiful bowls, and I can only imagine how beautiful the sound is when you're conducting this type of therapy with people. Do you, so this is not hypnosis. Um,
Mhm.
it's not like psychiatry or that therapy that we think of, like, you're not sitting there with a pad of paper with somebody taking notes and analyzing them and diagnosing them. This is a very different modality, a very different way of working. I mean, different to a lot of people. There are a lot of people that are already doing this type of thing, but then there are a whole lot of them that just don't know that this is here yet.
Mhm.
So I can attest to being completely alert, completely awake, working with you. It was more about getting into just kind of a meditative state where you're not making decisions, making judgments, or the recipient is not, we're not in ego. I think we're referring to this, where I wasn't sitting here thinking, oh shoot, as soon as we're done I need to go do this, or I got to grab that at the store, or oh, I hope she's not thinking I'm weird, or whatever. Like, we're out of that mindset, and we're in
Mhm.
just a restful place where something can just kind of bubble up. And
Mhm.
am I describing, is that how you would, I mean,
Yeah.
you describe it
Yeah.
differently,
Definitely. Yeah.
just very peaceful and calm and safe. So you're in Montana and
Mhm.
I'm in Idaho, and we work together, and obviously we're doing this right now. So I know that you work virtually for Theta healing. What about for
Mhm.
sound healing? Does that work virtually, or does everybody come to you, or how does that work?
The sound healing appointments, I recently restarted. For a little while, I didn't see much people in person. And that's why we started back up. And then this time around, that I did experiment with the like tuning fork sessions, in the distant sessions as well for a little bit. That's a relatively newer modality for me, because this year especially, that I really am craving, maybe because everything what had happened in the world, but I just was craving to be with that person more intimately by in-person sessions. And then I like that people able to feel the tuning fork, and then the tuning fork on their body,
Oh,
the vibrations. I apply those tuning forks in the different acupressure points,
oh, okay,
and
okay.
I can feel the vibrations, and then they can feel that vibrations, and then it's like a shared experience. Sometimes the vibration gets sucked into the body like right away, and then after applying a couple times, and then it starts, like, your body and your cells start resonating with the frequency, so it keeps on going and going and going, and
Wow.
then that can be felt by the clients, and then I can feel it with my hands and feelings as well. And then so in the way that I do like that in-person sessions. But however, when I work with people doing the remote sessions, people have reported some progress, and then the health changes, and then the emotional changes, and they can definitely feel it, like where I was working on, and then they could report to me like, okay, this is what I was feeling, and then that matches up.
Hmm.
So that's the area that I'm wanting to go, but I haven't really explored too much into it. So I might be doing some monitor sessions for the distance, the tuning fork sessions in the near future.
So
Yeah.
do the tuning forks make sound too? Or is
Yes,
it,
it does.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that I was totally imagining the beautiful bowls and, you know, this, I can, you know, hear the sounds in my head. And so I didn't know about the actual physical receiving of the vibration on the body. How interesting. That's really cool.
Yeah, there's a couple of different kinds that the high frequency ones, it doesn't have any weight on it. So I would use that for the areas around you. And then also for the sound as well. But then the weighted one that has like a little bit of weight, you might have seen some tuning forks has some weight on. And those like vibrates, and that's more like you can physically feel them.
Hmm.
And then those are the ones that I apply to a specific like points and then just kind of get things moving vibrationally. And I've been really enjoying those sessions.
Wow, I bet. I mean, I do something called a raindrop. You probably are familiar with a raindrop, where we use essential oils, hands-on. And I know that when I'm working with somebody, I'm not only benefiting them, I'm getting benefits too. Of, you know, you going through all of these oils and just doing the thing helps my body to balance and detox and do all the healthy things too. And I would imagine as the practitioner, you're receiving that. And I wanted to say too about like frequency and vibration. Again, I feel like there are some people who are kind of like, this is getting new agey for me, frequency, vibration, but you know, it's fact. Everything has a vibration. It's like, and some of us are so in tune with it, that when you walk into a room and if somebody's vibe is weird, you can feel it. I think we all have the ability to sense that, but I think more of us are in tune with that than maybe others are just in tune with, you know, reading the room and, you know, sensing when something's off, or when somebody said a long time ago, trust your gut instinct. Like always, if you get a bad sense or a bad vibe about somebody, trust it, you know, good or bad. Especially if it's not good, you know, you need to take care of yourself. But this is a real thing. It's proven in science. It's truth. It's fact. It's not a new agey, let's get all, you know, I don't know. But I know that there are some people out there that are still kind of thinking, oh, this isn't okay. It's okay. It's real. It's true. Whether you believe it or not about having a frequency or vibration, you do. We all do. We are probably more frequency than anything. I mean, our nervous system is, you know, it's electrical, right? Oh, who was it? Tesla? I think Dr. Charnel posted something about Tesla saying if you could harness all of your energy, all of your vibration, your frequency, you could like light up the entire world or something. You just don't realize you have that capacity. Powerful stuff.
Yeah, we are emitting measurable energy out into the world. We just don't feel it. We don't like really notice it. Go, you know, living your life, day-to-day life, but it is a truth and it's measurable scientifically.
Yeah, I saw a gal being measured, her, I don't know if measured is the right term, but she was connected to a screen, you know, somehow like they could see her frequencies and they could see based on what she was thinking about. And so they asked her to think about something she believes she just can't have. She can't have it. And so of course all these colors were coming up on the screen and they would change based on her thinking of something she couldn't ever have. And then he said, okay, I want you to think of something that you've accomplished, that you wanted all your life, you have it, you know, you love it. And all of the colors changed. They got brighter, more vivid. And then what was really impactful, they said, okay, what's your favorite color? Think about your favorite color and the color that makes you feel happy. And you know, she's not seeing the screen, but they're showing the screen, you know, as she's talking, and the screen is turning yellow and she doesn't know it, but she says yellow just energizes me and blah, blah, blah. And yellow is just my favorite. And so then they ended up at the end showing her that happened. And they said, what is your least favorite color? And she said, and at the same time, the screen's lighting up this color. She says, it's burgundy. I don't like burgundy at all. And the screen's turning burgundy.
Oh, wow.
Bizarre. And so they were telling her, she said, so what do I need to do? Do I need to wear yellow? Do we, and he goes, all you need to do is think about yellow. You're already creating yellow, that vibration, that frequency, that color of yellow, just by thinking about it. You're putting yourself in that state. It's really,
yeah, those like little frequencies you can't really ignore. I mean, people were concerned about the EMF or, that's a frequency too.
right.
Or people are going into the hospitals and they get their kidney stones taken care of. They use vibrations,
True.
ultrasonic, or you brush your teeth with the sonic, the sound. And so, and an MRI, that's a vibration that's coming back and then being captured. And so it's really, the frequency is already used in a medical device, or the things that we are aware that we know we can feel. And then we can have that impact of the large scale, the more strong ones, versus we can use that like a tiny little micro vibrations, like we are emitting from every single cell of our body constantly. And it's the same, even though it's bigger, or the magnitude or the intensity might be different. But that's what we do in the theta healing too, that we really tap into that micro vibration. And then what we do as a practitioner in theta healing is we train ourselves. This, like you said, this is an innate ability that everybody has. It's not, I'm not special. Everybody has the skill, and you have the skill, and just anybody, but we train it, we practice it, we remember it, and then become a better translator for what that means to you. It could be like some people are better at catching a frequency, like the sound. They hear it or they feel it. Some people see it, that vibration, they see the colors or whatever. It's how you receive that vibration is up to you. It's through your filter. It's your gift. But trying to understand, comparing the notes, saying like, okay, last time I felt this way, this meant this. And then you become better at reading your micro vibrations around you. Okay, this is happening, the gut feeling of like, okay, this person looks really sketchy, and then I shouldn't go near this person. That becomes a lot clearer the next time that you see somebody else like that, and then, ooh, I had this feeling before. This is what it meant. So like you're constantly catching, you're like an antenna, you're catching all this vibration. And then if that information is out there anyway, or you are emitting out that vibration anyway to the world, you might as well be aware and knowledgeable about what it is that's surrounding you, or what it is that you are sending out, so that you get to choose, or you get to understand, or you get to react or respond accordingly, and then choosing your path and then going forward in the direction that you like to go. Does that make sense?
Yes. My mind's just going. I know I've quoted Dr. Charnel. I'm referring to Dr. Charnel Wolverton. And I've quoted her a couple of times, but in her book, and I'm sure she's verbalized it as well, she says, you're creating stuff anyway. You might as well create cool stuff. Like, we're doing stuff anyway, whether we don't tap into this, these limiting beliefs, these stuck emotions, we don't tap into and heal them or correct them. We're going to be doing stuff, but it probably isn't as great as maybe what we could do if we got into some healing and really resolved those issues. We could do so much more. Maybe I'm expanding on that too much, but I just think there's so much value in this and what you're doing, and I'm excited to do some more work with you. So how can, is there anybody that this would not benefit? I was going to say, who would this benefit? And I'm thinking, who would it not benefit?
The people who don't feel ready, or who have a resistance to it. Like, you have to want to do this. True. Because I'm not going to pry it open. I'm not going to convince anybody. You have to want this. and you are ready to make that change for yourself, because the practitioner is not going to do it. You are the one picking and choosing what impact you want it to be. So some clients open up so much and then they go so deep, and then they get one sessions, and then rest of the things that they were thinking about is automatically different, the life-changing experience in just one session, 60 minutes, where some people might want to trickle it out little bit. I'll let you in this much, and then we get deeper and deeper. And then, it might be, but you get to choose. You get to choose the speed. You get to choose how deep you want to go. How much are you ready to release? It has to be you making that decision. Yes. So if you are not open to it, of course, it's not going to impact you, because that's your self-defense mechanism. You don't feel safe. You're not ready. And then it doesn't mean that, you can't try it. Maybe you need a little work to get ready for it. But I trust the gut feeling, like you said, on this thing too. When you feel that moment, okay, this is the session for me. And then pick your practitioner wisely as well. Make sure that you resonate with that person, because you're not going to feel safe to open up if you don't trust that person. So you need to have that energetic resonance with that person as well. So, who it is, when it is, and then that you feel ready or you get excited about it, let that be the guidance. Like, okay, this is for me, and then take an action. And then if it's like, no, then maybe it's not for you. But you decide, it probably. The people who are listening, they probably know it's for them or not for them. And then that is accurate, and that you are right, whatever it is that you're feeling.
Mm-hmm. So it's participatory. I like that. It's something you actively, as a receiver, you are participating in this healing process. Yes. So I'm a functional medicine health coach, and it's participatory. I can't do it for anybody. They have to choose and want to make lifestyle changes on their own. Modern medicine, different deal. It's something that's more done to you. You are receiving a pharmaceutical or a surgery or a physical therapy, which you'd have to participate in. I'm just trying to kind of throw some things out there, kind of the difference between being in a participatory modality versus something that you have done to you. I'm not saying modern medicine is bad. We need it. It's important. It definitely has its place. But a lot of things that we go to modern medicine for are lifestyle related, are stress related, are emotional related. And if you are willing to, you're open to actually looking into this type of thing, it's amazing work. And I like that, it can happen really quickly for some people, and other people will give you little bites and to take their time. So I know I have people, in California and Idaho and Florida and several different places watching. So how would they reach you to get some of your amazing help?
Oh, thank you. So I'm on Instagram, and you can search for me at Iology-works.
Okay, I'll put that in the notes, -works. I'll put that in the comment at the bottom. Okay.
And then, if you go to my profile, then there's a link tree things that you can find my website. So the classes that I'm offering, sessions that I'm offering, it's all there. So, or you can just direct, message me, and then just ask me any questions, because I am absolutely convinced that that resonance has to happen. So I want to make sure before clients coming into my session that they really want this session. So so feel free to contact me to see if there's a good match for you, and then make sure that coming into the session that this is the right session.
Perfect. Is there anything else that you want to talk about that I didn't ask you, that you just really want people to know?
I am such a believer of the emotional, energetic freedom, so that it's just, I want everybody to feel that you get to choose, and then you get to have this freedom to choose the path that how you feel, like the slow progress, fast progress, there's no good or bad, right? And it's just your path that you are choosing. So I really want people to feel empowered, that you get to choose, that you get to co-create the things that you want to co-create into the life, and you have so much power into doing this. So I want that power to come back to you, so that you can actually bring that to the front line, so that you go forward with knowing of how powerful you are, how much choice that you have, and then that just a kind of feeling that unstoppable you, because a lot of people are kind of discouraged and they're not really feeling that the magnificent being that you are, just harnessing that and then moving forward is such a powerful thing to do in whatever it is that you are trying to do, whether to accomplish health or abundance, or moving forward with your business, or it's just so aligning tool, like just tiny micro calibration of your perspective, your thought process can change your entire life. So I just want people to feel empowered. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be sound healing. It could be essential oils. That's a vibrational healing as well. It changes people's vibration instantaneously as soon as you smell it. The moment then your vibration is shifting, right? So, but whatever it is that's resonating with you right now, take an action, because you know your feeling and you know what drives you, what attracts you. Really stay true to that, and then have your inner knowing, and then align your inner knowing and what you do, and you're going to be so much happier. So that whatever the action you're drawn to, it's time. And yeah,
Time. I love that. That's very well said. And yeah, it's time. I mean, if you're ready to be unstuck from whatever you keep finding, maybe you keep making the same mistake over and over and over again, and you just can't figure out, why do I keep doing the same thing? Maybe that same thing just has a different face, or a different, building or whatever, but it's the same experience. I always think about it like the Israelites in Exodus. They kept walking around the mountain, like for 40 years they walked around the mountain, because they just kept doing the same thing. Okay, we're free. Okay, darn it, why are we not there yet? Okay, we're free. Why are we not there yet? And like just going around the mountain. Like, how many more times do you want to go around the mountain until you want freedom, right? Like until you want peace and freedom. So I love what you do. And I appreciate you and I appreciate your time so very much. And I will put in the comments how to reach I. And yeah, I hope I would have liked to have done this live so that we could have gotten some comments, but I think that this was the better way to do it. So I'm glad we did it this way. So we will be in touch. Thank you so very much. And let's see if I can figure out how to stop the recording here.
Thank you, Shanna, for inviting me. This was so much fun.
Oh, you bet. You bet. All right. So reach out to I. She's amazing. We'll talk with y'all later. Bye-bye.